What if the most disturbing part of the Epstein case isn't what we know, but what was quietly written down, filed away, and then forgotten? Over the past few years, thousands of pages of court documents, flight logs, and legal filings connected to Jeffrey Epstein have surfaced. These files don't prove crimes by themselves, but they raise questions so serious that even investigators couldn't ignore them. Tonight, we're breaking down what the Epstein files actually say, what they don't say, and why this case still refuses to disappear. Jeffrey Epstein was a wealthy financier who moved in elite circles, politicians, royalty, billionaires, and academics. To the public, he appeared powerful, connected, and untouchable. But behind closed doors, federal investigators were building a very different picture. In 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty in Florida to state charges related to solicitation of a minor. That plea deal later became one of the most criticized legal agreements in U.S. history. Years later, in 2019, Epstein was arrested again, this time on federal sex trafficking charges. He died in jail while awaiting trial. His death officially ruled a suicide, but it only intensified public scrutiny. When people talk about Epstein files, they're not referring to one secret document. They mean multiple sets of records, including court filings, depositions, flight logs, contact books, civil lawsuit exhibits. Many of these documents were sealed for years, then slowly released through court orders and lawsuits. Important point, being named in these files does not mean guilt. Courts have repeatedly stated that names appear for many reasons: social contact, business relationships, secondhand mentions, or simple record keeping. The disturbing detail isn't a single name, it's a pattern. Court records show Epstein had access, repeated long-term access to private aircraft, private islands, luxury properties across multiple countries. Survivors who testified in civil cases described recruitment through trust, abuse hidden behind wealth, silence enforced by fear and power. These testimonies were given under oath in civil court. Again, these are allegations, not criminal convictions against third parties. But the consistency of these accounts is what alarmed investigators. One of the biggest misconceptions online is this: if a name appears in Epstein documents, they must be guilty. That's legally false. Courts have emphasized inclusion does not equal accusation, mention does not equal involvement, association does not equal crime. However, investigators look at frequency of contact, context, timeline, corroborating evidence. The files are leads, not verdicts. This is why responsible reporting avoids naming individuals without court findings. Epstein wasn't just a criminal case. He became a symbol of something deeper: power without accountability, wealth shielding, wrongdoing victims ignored for decades. Many survivors have said the most painful part wasn't just the abuse, but being dismissed when they spoke up. This is why the Epstein case continues to resurface. Not for shock value, but because it exposed systemic failure. Here's the truth. Based on public records, Epstein was convicted once and charged again federally. Multiple civil lawsuits were settled. Some documents remain sealed. No sweeping criminal conspiracy has been legally proven. Investigations are still ongoing in limited forms. Everything else online. Speculation.